The missus and I have been travelling around Australia for the last 9 months, and this thing here, we've been sleeping in the Darche RidgeBack rooftop tent, and for the price point, we're not too impressed with it. So stick around and we'll run through all the things we love about it and a lot of the things we dislike about it. All right, let's see how quick and easy this thing is to set up. Just like that, it's done. So one of the things we love about this tent, as opposed to most traditional rooftop tents, is there's an internal pole that when the tent opens like that, that internal pole swings out like this. And it gives you a little bit more room inside the tent. You don't have that sort of A-frame shape to it. So that's a plus. However, that comes with its own disadvantages. So when this inside frame opens up, there's a spreader pole here. And it clips onto here, no dramas. However, up at this end, it doesn't quite clip on. If you can look there, it's just a little metal bar. And the reason we've got this Oki strap here is on a windy night, when the wind blows on this end of the tent, coming towards this way, it actually compresses on this spreader pole and it's not strong enough to hold it. So this pole slowly starts to shrink up. And when that happens, it disconnects from this end here and then it swings down, and as you can see, this is where our heads are. So we've had a few nights where we've been copped in the face by this pole falling, and our solution was to use this Oki strap and we wrap it around the pole to stop it falling. So that's an issue from Darche that I think they should look at trying to fix. So on the inside, there's plenty of room to sit upright. I can stick my hand all the way up and I can only just touch the top of the tent. It's got these pockets all through here, super handy, super good for storage. And there's a clear one there, so if you've got an iPad or something, you can put that in there and watch movies. There's also pockets on the edge of the tent that run all the way down here. Just this top one, that's not a pocket. If you put something in there, it falls all the way down here to the bottom. So we learnt that the hard way. This USB plug down in the corner attaches to an LED strip light. So we've just run a battery pack off that most nights if we want to use it, and it runs around the entire hard shell side of the inside of the tent. So it gives a nice little glow in here, and it's enough to read a book or do that sort of stuff. It's also got a skylight. So you can open that one there up. There's a fly screen mesh there. And then there's a piece of PVC on the rain fly up the top. And the only issue with this is it's starting to crack. So we've had it for about 18 months now. It's been on the car, and we noticed that at about the 12-month mark that there's holes and cracks all through this PVC. So I'll give you a look at that. So as you can see there, there's holes, more holes through here. These are all about to crack and split as well. So that's really not withstanding it. What that means is, even if it's not raining, if it's just a colder night where you get a bit of dew on the tent, that all starts to leak through. And if you've got that piece of canvas open to stargaze, you end up a little bit wet on the inside. So that's a bit of a bummer that we have to keep that piece of canvas closed. So the other thing we'll look at while we're up here is you've got this strap, and it's used to assist in closing the tent. So it's super handy for that. However, there's not really anywhere to secure this when you're actually camping. The best way we've found to do it is to tuck it up underneath here. I'll just do that with two hands and then I'll give you a look. So that's tucked away in here. However, on windy nights, this can fall out and then you have to listen to it slapping against the side of the tent. On the inside here, we have a 10mm condensation mat. and it is topped with a 55mm memory foam mattress that comes with the tent. We've added our own eggshell topper for a bit of comfort, but it is still hard as a rock. And even with that thin mattress, you still cannot keep bedding in this tent. At best, two very flat pillows will fit inside the tent, and if you add anything more, the rubber seals won't close up, and then if you drive through rain, you're going to end up with water in your tent. So for us, we've been taking all the bedding out and we stick it inside the canopy. So a little bit of an annoyance, but is what it is. So this might just be one of my biggest gripes with this tent. It's a Darche tent. It's worth $5,000 and it should be made for Australian conditions. It's been on the car for 18 months. I noticed it coming up towards the year mark being on the car, but the entire top of it has gone really chalky. So you can see all this white sort of texture to it and everything. I don't think this is going to make it to the 3-year mark, which is how long the warranty is on this tent. I touched this tent and my hands are black. Like, I just don't think that's acceptable. This should still look pretty good. I get it, it's out in the sun, we've been on the road for 9 months, but I expect better. I really do. I think they need to change that, and the coating's peeling in spots as well, so it's really not going to last. All right, let's pack it up. And if you watch closely when I'm doing it, I find that the easiest way to get all the sides in is I make a big like swimming motion and I wrap all the canvas in, and I use my chin on the handle to pull it down. This may not work for you if you're teetering on the top of a ladder. We're fortunate to have this big platform to stand on. But I find if I don't do that, there's always bits of canvas sticking out the sides. So let's pack her up. Final thoughts on the tent. I think if you're traveling Australia like we did and you're living in this tent night in, night out, that's your accommodation, probably look at spending a bit more and upgrading to something else. The fact we've got to take our bedding out of the tent every night, that gets annoying. Comfort, it's not that comfortable. The quality with that PVC, all the holes in it, that spreader pole collapsing on us all the time, I'm really not that impressed with it. I'm actually gonna try and do a warranty claim on the tent, so I will let you know how I go with that. And the other thing, it's got a 3-year warranty. We're only around the 18-month mark, and the top of the tent, all that chalkiness on the top and the peeling of that coating, I expected a bit better from a product that's sold to an Australian market. It clearly can't withstand that. So who is this tent suitable for? I think if you are someone who is going to use it a dozen or so times a year, you're only going to sleep in it for a few nights at a time, and you're parked indoors under a garage where it's not copping the beating sun, then I think this tent will last you and it'll do the job. The comfort side of things won't worry you with too much if you're only in it for a few nights. So I think if you're going that way, it's pretty good, and it is very slimline. So if height is an issue for you, then these are a pretty good tent. For us though, we're already 2.4 meters tall, so we don't fit anywhere anyway. So I'm leaning towards upgrading to something that's a bit bigger, that will hold a thicker mattress and will hold all our bedding overnight and during the day once we've packed it up. The tent, it's good. There's plenty of room in there. It's easy to set up. I like the overall design of it. It just isn't withstanding the way we use it. And that's the reason I think I'm going to get rid of it.